4 years ago, I was living with one of my best friends in a very small one-bedroom house. We couldn't afford a bigger place, so we decided to make it work. I used to sleep on a sofa bed in the living room while my friend had the actual bedroom. This incident took place during the fall season, just when the cold was starting to settle in. My friend had gone out of town for a few days to visit his sister, so I was alone in the house during that time. It was the weekend, which meant I had the whole place to myself for 2 days. It quote, not that I had any problem living with him, but in such a tiny space, being around each other all the time could feel a bit cramped, so having some alone time felt nice. Anyway, on Sunday evening, I went out to buy some groceries and returned home around 7 p.m. I had work the next day, so I was planning to wrap things up early. When I got home, everything seemed normal. I placed the grocery bag in the kitchen and sat down in the living room, turning on the TV. A little while later, when I got up to put the groceries in the fridge, I felt like something had moved slightly on its own, like a bottle placed in the kitchen corner had shifted just a bit. I figured it was probably just my imagination, or maybe the wind, since the heater was on and there was a slight draft. But then something strange happened. When I was closing the freezer, I suddenly felt a light touch near my back just for a second. I quickly turned around, but no one was there. I got a bit scared, but convinced myself that I was just tired and maybe it was all in my head. Still, a slight uneasiness lingered. I quickly put away the rest of the groceries and wrapped myself in a blanket in the living room. It must have been around 10:30 p.m. when I was trying to fall asleep, and I heard a faint noise from the bedroom, like a door quietly closing. Keep in mind, I was alone in the house at that time, and the bedroom door wasn't even shut because my friend was out. I gathered some courage and walked towards the bedroom. The door was half open. I peeked inside. Everything seemed normal, but when I turned on the light, I saw the bedsheet was all messed up, like someone had just gotten up from it. I stood there at the bedroom door for a few seconds, breathing heavily. I kept the light on and carefully checked the room, looked inside the closet, under the bed, but there was no one. After a while, I convinced myself again that maybe I was just overthinking and it was all just my imagination. I came back to the living room and lay down on the futon, but sleep felt miles away. Around 1:15 a.m., I was half asleep when suddenly it felt like someone whispered something very softly and coldly near my ear. I jerked awake and looked around the room, but no one was there. My heart was pounding hard. Then my eyes fell on the TV screen. It was off, but there was a faint reflection visible, and in that reflection, I saw a blurry shadow standing behind me. I instantly turned around. There was nothing. I stepped outside when the bedroom door suddenly slammed shut on its own with a loud bang, as if someone had forcefully pushed it from the inside. Without thinking, I ran out and spent the entire night sitting in my car. As soon as morning came, I called my friend and told him everything. When he came back, we both checked the entire house. No one was there. But later, his sister told us that an old man used to live there alone who died in terrible condition during the winter, and no one even knew about his body for weeks after he died. I had made up my mind not to stay alone in that house again, but when I told my friend, he just laughed and said, "There's no such thing as ghosts, man. You were just tired." He went inside and started putting his stuff in that same bedroom. I was standing outside, still thinking about what to do, when suddenly I heard him scream from inside. I rushed in and saw him lying on the floor, blood coming from his nose. In a trembling voice, he said, "Someone grabbed me by the neck and slammed me against the wall. There was someone there, so cold, so dark. His eyes, there were no eyes, just empty pits." I somehow lifted him and brought him outside. We were both shaking with fear. That very night, we brought in an old priest from a nearby church. As soon as he stepped into the room, the temperature suddenly dropped so cold it felt like walking into a deep freezer. The priest closed his eyes and began to pray, and just then a mark began to appear on the bedroom wall as if someone had scratched it with their nails. The mark looked like a person was trying to claw their way out of the wall, hand-like impressions, and beneath them a bloodstain. The priest explained, "An old man never lived in this house. There used to be a warden here, mentally unstable. This place was once a reform house for the mentally ill. The warden used to torture them until one day they killed him and sealed him inside the room. His spirit never left. He still owns that room, and he doesn't like it when anyone sleeps there in peace." We left the house after that. A few months later, the house was rented out again, but within just 2 months, the new tenants fled overnight. The police report stated, due to unidentified psychological distress, the tenants became mentally unstable. That house still stands today, but no one stays in it. The bedroom window always opens by itself, as if someone is peeking out. We had left the house, but weeks later, one night, I got a call from a friend, just a whisper. He took me. Then the call disconnected. The next morning, The police told me they found his body in that same bedroom, half buried in the wall. His eyes were missing. The door was locked from the inside. As soon as I got back home, I saw the police putting the man into their car. He was holding a heavy pipe wrench that he had taken from my parents' shed. Inside the house, he had wrecked almost everything within minutes until the police arrived. Why he followed me to my house and did all this is still unclear, but one thing was certain: his mental state was not stable. If I had stayed inside the house at that time, there's no doubt he would have broken into my room before the police got there, and what he would have done to me then, no one can say for sure.